Now, you had mentioned earlier you had a little bit of time in the army. Tell me about that a little bit. And when you start training to become a wrestler, you have to be disciplined and have to get in shape. And seems like when you were in the army, it kind of prepared you for wrestling.
Well, I wrestled way before that. So, I actually went to training school. I played sports, all the, you know, uh, elementary school, middle school. I played baseball, football, basketball. And by the time I got to high school is when I found the training school. So when I was 14, freshman year of high school, I talked my dad into to letting me train. And I learned how to train and wrestle there, and they actually taught me how to do collegiate wrestling when I started. It wasn't just professional wrestling. They made us uh, do complete physical fitness exercises, for hours before I was ever able to even put my foot in the ring. I had to earn that privilege. You couldn't just get in the ring and start learning stuff. It
Right.
was they wanted to break you down and see if you were going to come back and stick around. And so way before the army, I had already been trained by grown men. I was a kid, I was 14,
Mm. Oh, wow,
but I
that
really
young.
wanted to do it. Now, you asked about the army. My time in the army was nice. Met a lot of good people. I enjoyed it, but I actually put wrestling on the back burner. Only wrestled about once a year, and it wasn't my passion. My
Sure.
passion was not the army. So a lot of other personal stuff, girlfriends and this and that doesn't matter anymore. They ain't around anymore. But the wrestling actually helped me with the army as to where you thought it would be vice versa.
Ah,
In my situation, it's just wrestling was there for me early, and I went and trained, and it was hard. I missed prom, uh, missed plenty of dates of things that were going on that you would go to as a high schooler. I didn't care about. All I cared about was wrestling. And that's all I wanted. Plenty of relationships, friendships, that just kind of went away, but it wasn't the path that I was on. And all I was, all I wanted to do from the time I started training and getting the ins and outs of it was how do I get in the ring and how do I get to perform? That's all I wanted to do.
well, you had a dream, and you were passionate about it and you wanted to follow it. So you only did what was natural. So that's a good thing. Not everybody can say they had a dream that young, but you were able to know what you wanted to do and you went after it.
Yeah, and see, in the state of Kentucky, you have to be 18 to wrestle. So for the first 4 years that I was an active wrestler, which when they put me in the ring when I was 14, I'd been training for 6 months. So I get to say I had my first match at 14, but I basically just got beat up by my trainer. The show was at a nursing home
Oh man.
outside. So half the people that were there didn't even know what was going on. So it was more like an exhibition. It wasn't really a legal show. But of course, at the time, they say, hey, we want you to wrestle. And there's going to be, 150 people there. You don't care what they say. Um, so, yeah, I had my first match at this outlaw show at 14, which, like I said, was just getting beat up. But for the first 4 years, I had to travel to Indiana, Illinois, Tennessee, all these places that did not require a license. And so I wasn't able to actually wrestle in my hometown in Paducah and let anybody that was friends or family with me like see me in Paducah until I was already out of high school.